After all that, it's time for a bit of this. CEXing. We were CEXing again. Different orders at different times over the last couple of weeks. I was looking at a post in one of the groups again on Facebook. Chap had this for sale. Ordinarily these boxes are mullered. I know that Steve Richards, Mr. Retro and Limb, he's going for a full set. I think it might be down to the last one or two. I can't remember if the completed box ones or not. But to be honest, I think the state of some of the boxes, I'd prefer to get a look at the carton manual and the universal box. I think they look nicer, as daft as it sounds. When you see the game, you'll know what I'm on about. Unless these are pristine, they look ropey as hell, really do. And I tell you what, the price of this is, I thought it's got to be fucking wrong. Surely to God, £6, £6, as Ben Mongus on a unicycle would say. It's fucking Doom on 32X, £6 on CEX. I ain't took the sticker off yet. I thought it had the price on it, doesn't it? But it is, look. You can check yourself. Doom. Unboxed. £6. If I see that at an event, I'd buy that. Label's in great condition. So, yeah, like I say, because that guy, I think he was asking like 25 boxed. And the 32X boxes do not last well. They're very akin to Sonic and Knuckles on the Mega Drive. That started, the cardboard's piss thin. So yeah, I think, you know, I'm not saying I'm going to, I mean, that's an expensive collection there, the 32X ones. I've got a few Japanese ones and stuff like that. Japanese ones, obviously the boxes are not in bad nick at all. But yeah, I'd just, you know, I'd be quite happy with manuals and a universal case. Boom, job done. I've seen some online and they look great actually. They do really pop quite nicely. But yes, a rough, unless the mint condition, the 32X boxes look shit. That's first up. We'll do the only one, the one and only. Is it Chesney Hawk? This one is boxed and it's come through, it's complete. I don't know why it was just sold as boxed. I can tell, little crack in the top here. I don't think it's not rare or anything, you know, it's not a big massive hitter on the system. It's I've actually found it a bit more difficult to find this on CEX on its younger siblings format than this one, although obviously this is quite hard to come by on this anyway. And it is another into this mega CD collection. It's Chuck Rock 2 Son of Chuck. How far can a woodchuck chuck out chuck wood? If a woodchucker could chuck wood, how far would a woodchucker chuck wood? So it's all there. The only thing I think is that little, you see it? Little dink there. And like I said to you before, as long as the spine is all intact, don't go buying. If you get all these all cracked and split, all you need is just a standard jewel case. If you've got like a charity shop selling like CDs for 10p, just get a couple of decent CDs, and the front and the back are just the backs of a normal jewel case. That's all it is. As long as that spine's intact, happy as fucking Larry. So yeah, Chuck Rock 2 Son of Chuck. I say weren't peanuts. I don't know. I want to say 35, I think. But it don't come up very often. I say Chuck Rock 2 on the Mega Drive. You think there'd be fucking loads on CEX, wouldn't you? Same as Xenon 2, same as Speedball 2. You don't see that. I don't know if they don't carry them. Maybe that's what it is. sticking with Sega, but moving over to the Mega Drive. A couple that come through today. I've got one more in the post, and one of these come early last week. So I'm glad these turned up today anyway. Quite happy with them. For the price I paid, near bother. £6, Animaniacs, Blue Spine. Oh dear. Now this, one of these weird games, you know when you open or you get the envelope, you think, oh, there's no manual in it. It has got a manual, but it's just a very thin manual. Thank God. Because there's nothing worse than these fucking mega chunky manuals that just don't fit in the grooves. I mean, what stupid person designed them? But yeah, for £6, all intact, a Konami title. What do you want? For something I think it's like £3.50. Honestly, say this is one of them. It says, bollocks. Yeah, it's dismissed. I forgot about that. It's just needs a case swap. I've got a case for this. For £3.50, it's all complete, in pretty good nick. So it's not going back. I'll just swap the case. Megalomania. So I've got 2 tribes. I think I'm just missing Populous. And that is not an expensive game either, off of CEX. So it's a God Sim. You know, honest copy. The manual's not mint. It's not completely fucking battered to an inch's life. The only downside is, I think, just given its age, the plastics literally come away. And I think that's come away in the post because underneath there, it's not even worn. So I think the journey's it's just pulled it away. Which I don't mind. I can live with that because I say the insert's great. I'll just swap it over. 3 more. Right. Mentioned it a minute ago on the Mega CD. I thought I'll get that at any time. Pick it up from CEX. It's always there. It's always in stock. I can't remember how I built some credit. I've got some Wii stuff from the charity shop, which is where a lot of this has come from the credit. Just some remotes and stuff like that. So I'm going to grab one of them now because this is the same thinking as the stuff that I got from Gavin. You know, the sort of the filler, but they're still good titles. You know, but always ones I think, oh, I can get them at any time. It's always the ones that you've only seen one copy of. So I go to get this, and I always just check to see how many's in stock anyway. And it's like 1 in stock. I'm like, really? That can't be right. So I thought, well, I grab it anyway. It's come through. It hasn't got a manual. The insert's fine. The cart needs a clean. It's just dirty, and it's chuck lock too. Ton of chuck. So you think there'd be like fucking loads of these on CEX. It always amazes me the stuff that's just doesn't come into stock. She knows. But yeah, no manual. I said the cart just needs a clean. It's just scrubbing. Dirt I can handle. Don't mind dirt. Clean it up, not a problem. And the insert's fine. A little bit of tiny scuffing on the edge, but nothing to shout home about. So yeah, Chuck Rock's still one on the cards that I need to get. Apparently, according to RetroCollect, I don't have it. But I do need to revise and look at that shelf. I look in there because that's where they all are on that shelf. Right, last 2. 2 tasty titles here. Not cheap. One I got with credit, one I've bought with cash. To be honest, the cash one I think still a good buy. It is the one that's not complete. I'm gonna keep it anyway, and just obviously just keep an eye out for the manual for it. The other one, I think it's about £10 cheap. I think it's £35. So that was with the credit. That come through today. It is complete. The case has got a few cracks in it. They're both blue spines, so the blue spine ones tend to have like this. I'll show you anyway when I come to it. When I show you, insert's fine, cart's okay. It's not wicked. It's not the worst I've ever seen, and the manual has been heavily thumbed, but it doesn't look like it's fallen to pieces. It just looks really, really battered. But it's a manual nonetheless, so it is technically complete. So first up, for £35. Is it 35 quid? I think it's about the going rate, give or take. Again, it's one of these weird ones. If you have an auction, it's probably, you might get lucky. Buy it now is a way up there. It's Samurai Showdown. So nice insert. I can't fault that. And sometimes that's half the battle, to be honest, if you get a decent insert. And as you can see inside, the manual is up. I said this before, like about Mortal Kombat, so I think these fighters, it must have the moveset. I haven't looked at it yet. And there's a cart. The cart's got a little bit of label peel, which is fucking endemic with these blue spines. Yeah, it's been creased. I think someone's attempted to glue it down, but very badly. If you can see that there, just wrinkled it a little bit, and it's not put. They've not took it right to the edge, so it's not flush. But for credit, and the manual. Yeah, do you know what? Other than the corner where it's just been squished in, it's all right. I bet it's got the moves in it. It has, yeah. Yeah, that's why. Look, it's got all the move lists in it, so that's what it is. It's the same with Mortal Kombat. I think any of them. Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. All the manuals are chewed up because as a kid you're probably just going through and trying to learn the list and pinning the manual open to learn it. But yeah, it's a 6-button jobby as well. So obviously Neo Geo's 4 buttons, isn't it? Yeah, A, B, C, D. I had to think then. 4 buttons. The last game. Took a flyer on this again. Pay cash. Oh, it's on the shade of corner, wasn't I? On the blue. What you'll find with a lot of blue spine games, especially where it's. I've mentioned these boxes before. You have these like 3/4, and then that. Then you have like the half. You know, your usual half ones, and there's ones that are like slightly below 3/4. Anyway, these ones always tend to crack in the corners. I don't know if anyone's asked to notice that. Always do that. All these little ledges here, these little like lugs snap. Just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. In a similar vein, this has got the reason why I say this has got exactly the same thing. It's just a case. The insert is honest enough. It's not fake. I was concerned that this was going to come through as fake. The label's absolutely fantastic. The label on the cartridge is absolutely fantastic. It is just missing the manual. Chance of getting the manual for this, few and far between. Complete, it's a fucking expensive game. If I had a manual for this, I think you're probably looking at, what did I pay? I paid $45 for this. I think you're probably looking at double, easily for this. Saturn, Super Nintendo, equally as expensive, probably, if not, well, it will be more expensive because it's a SNES. And by all accounts, a very good game to boot. So it's the Adventures of Batman and Robin. So I took a fly with CEX, 45 quid, boxed. And you know what? It's not that manual, no manual, but that cart is not in bad condition at all. So I'm quite happy with that. Some people would probably shirk, but as I said before, all these kind of games like that, it's a you know, it's a stopgap. It's a place filler, it's a placeholder, and I can always look to source manuals further down the line. That is all the pickups. That's all the gets, the grabs. You're all up to date, as much as I am. Chinese New Year resolution. I'm going to try and cut these down, get them back to manageable, you know, timings, or split them. That might be the other thing again. Just go part 1, part 2, because yeah, some people like it, some people don't. But I think, yeah, I need to sort it out. Anyway, moving back to what I referred to earlier about the CEX and you know, the games from Gavin that sort of like trade them to CEX. I've culled the Wii collection. I say I've culled it, I've still got it, but I've gone through and I've sorted it all out. And 100 games. There's 100 games that I'm not really that bothered about at all. I've probably still got about another 100 that I'm keeping. So they are probably more than likely 99.9% going to CEX tomorrow. Today's Saturday. Take up Sunday, it's a bit quieter. For them 100, about 99 games or whatever it is, I get about 150 quid credit. It's not a lot, is it, really, if you think about it? But some of the titles, they're nothingness titles. There's a few that you could probably say, oh, that's worth a fiver, but you've got to sell it for a fiver. You know, you've got to get a fiver for it. Whereas there's other stuff that I actually do want. And I said before, told you guys, especially since changing the room around, the Wii stuff's in a box. It's still in the box here. I think if I get rid of them 99, the ones that are left there, those ones that are left there, I think I can fit them on the shelves if we organise them properly. That's the plan. Because I haven't done a room tour yet, because it's still in flux. I don't want to do it until it's right. And obviously, not only that, I probably want sort of nicer weather, a bit brighter weather to do it. So that's that. So that's what's going to happen there. I called, you know, years ago, I called the Dreamcast. I did a lot of trades for Saturn stuff for that. What else did I call? Xbox went. I did a lot of trades for SNES stuff there with Phil Kett. So yeah, I'm always, you know, although I probably seem like I'm hoarding stuff, stuff does move and it just leaves the collection. It never comes back. I don't very rarely, touch wood, just once stuff's gone from my collection, does it ever come back? I'm not one of them people that sells it and buys it back again. So I'm pretty sort of, you know, fixed in terms of, you know, once it's gone, and that's it. Then I move on. So the Wii stuff's not completely going. I say it's probably more than 100 games. There's still all the sort of heavy hitters, all the sort of tasty titles, all being kept. It's all just the shelf filler. That's all going. I did a similar thing with the PlayStation 2. I probably need to review that again, thin that out. Realistically, that PlayStation, that is a beast. That could probably do with going through. The thing is, I'm not bothered about that at the minute, because I quite like the PlayStation collection. But yeah, it's a refinement process. It's like a whiskey. It's like a fine whiskey. You've got to give it a chance. Give it a chance to brew. So that's where we're at. That's why there's been no room tour, basically, essentially. So again, mentioned it last video. Looking forward now. Doncaster, 3rd of March, not very far away. Couple of weeks. So hopefully see some of you boys and girls there if you want to attend. I'll be, like say, you may see some of the PlayStation 2 stuff. None of the Wii stuff's even worth taking, to be honest. It's just baggage. But yeah, you know, there may be some thinnage going on with the PlayStation. I don't know yet. I'll have to see what I've got. So just to round it up, guys, last shout out: Revival Generation X, Walsall, Bescott Stadium, May, I think. It's definitely not June. You can Google it anyway. Revival Generation X at Walsall. Craig Turner's put it is shaping up to be an absolute cracker. A lot of the lads are going to be turning up for that one. It just drops right, I think, in terms of the calendar. You've got the Games Animal, Dave Perry in attendance. There's some stuff off the back of that. So if you love your Games Master, you love that kind of, you know, that style of competitions and stuff, I think there's something in the works, and I think there's probably a few sneaky, you know, celebrities that's going to attend. It is, honestly, I think that one might be that might be the event of the year. I really do. I think he's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. But I like the revivals. The first one I went to was the Winter Warmer, and I just like that grassroots event sort of thing. It wasn't too over elaborate, if that makes sense. And I really enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed everyone I've been to so far, which is only like 2 anyway, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's bigger, it's better, it's larger. I'll be going for the whole weekend. I'll be going for the Friday night with Rob, Saturday, and then obviously coming back on the Sunday. So yeah, definitely, if you're looking for something that's not as or like expo-y as you know, some of the play events, then Revival is more, I say, the grassroots collector kind of, like, you know, it's not a Comic-Con. It's less Comic-Con, that makes sense. Not that it plays at Comic-Con, but it's less Comic-Con. That appeals. And if it appeals to you, get yourself there. 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, everything counts. Take it easy, YouTube, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.